Need to hit that button there.
Sorry.
Good evening and welcome to the Arundel Camera Club. Everybody already is here, has already heard this. Live meeting for Thursday, February 22nd. My name is John Milliker, and I'm the club president for the 2023-2024 season. The Arundel Camera Club was founded in 1957 and exists to promote the arts, science, and education in all aspects and fields of photography. For more information about us, please visit arundelcameraclub.org. If you are local to us in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, we encourage you to visit us at the Severna Park Baptist Church at 506 Benfield Road, Severna Park, Maryland. Before we move to tonight's contest, do we have any announcements from officers?
Black and white contest.
Black and white contest. That's an MPA announcement, right? You're jumping the gun, Ron. You gotta wait. Do we have any announcements from the MPA? Want to come up here?
Oh, thank you. And a cookie just a little.
That's always how it works, right?
Okay, we have room for about 1,000 entries in the MPA contest, okay? And I sent everybody the code for our club. So check your email. If you do not have that code, email me or text me or whatever, and I will get that to you. Make sure you can enter. So it's $15 for the second 2 entries. For the first entry and second entry, it's free if you're an MPA club. Simply enter your code in and you're good to go. And by the way, that's a really easy submission mechanism if you want to submit something and change your mind. You know, it's not till the 15th of March that it closes. So if you want to change your mind, put it in, look at it, you know, think about it like you do your pictures for the club here. If you decide you want to pull it back and put something else in, you can do that. So should be easy, but we have 140, I think, already submitted from various clubs. So I'm hoping that Arundel Camera Club will be well represented this time around. And you know, our annual spring event that we always do, I'm going to send you information out about that. That's an all-day Saturday event in late March too. So lots of good stuff going on. So please check, and I'll keep you all updated on that. But please make sure, let's be really well represented in the contest this year.
Thanks.
That's it. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Ron. I mentioned last week a camping opportunity. For the last several years, I think we missed last year, but a lot of the club members had gotten together and we went up to Spruce Knob, West Virginia, down to Spruce Knob, West Virginia. The highest point in West Virginia, that is I think it's a certified dark sky area. If you've ever seen the dark sky in like Assateague, it's nothing compared to this. But that is July 6th through 10th. I did send out an email. I believe Mike put something on the website as well. If you want to join us, it has all the information to get your reservations and some ideas on what you need to make sure to bring. It's not too terrible. There are vault toilets and running water, but that's about it. It's a little slice of heaven, no cell phones or anything. But a lot of club members had gotten a fantastic dark sky galaxy images. Typically, knock on wood, there's a thunderstorm that goes through the valley from the observation area. It's a great time. There's lots to photograph during the day, plenty more at night. If you have any questions, seek out that email or seek out that post, or feel free to contact me. And do we have any other announcements from any club members? Yes.
Just a quick reminder, when you win tonight, I need a digital copy of your winning image. So either email them to me or go to the website and upload them, because until I get those, I can't do the newsletter for the next month. So it just makes it easier if y'all all run home and all your excitement from winning, you send me the pictures. All right, can we take this down so it's not blocking everyone? All right, so it's a little bit of sad news. This morning, our longtime club member, Rich Stolarski, passed away from a long battle with cancer. He joined the club around 2014. He was unlimited in digital, color prints, and monochrome prints. We did a check on our database, and he had 59 winning contest images, which is quite impressive. So we thought we would. I did post some to Facebook and on the website. We'll update that when the obituary and information about the funeral comes out. But we're going to share some of his winning images with you right now. So just enjoy and think of Rich and his family. Bob, did you want to say anything?
Yes.
Thanks.
I was probably one of the last people to see Rich from the club. We visited him about 3 weeks ago. He was laying down, not able to move much. He couldn't stand. But his spirit was still there. And we spent 2-3 hours talking, what would you believe, photography in some of his images. So that part of him was still fighting strong.
He entered the digital contest.
And he even entered a contest in between times. So he was basically there to the end.
So now it's my turn to talk about the upcoming schedule. Next week we have our tabletop night. We are going to have some studio setups and we're going to have some tabletop setups. Bob left us with a bunch of things for the tabletop. We're going to bring in a light box. John and I are working on something that I'm not sure we'll be able to do or not. We also put out a call to the church community here to have people come and pose for studio shots if they want to come in. So I don't know if people are going to show up or not. I do know Fred has a model coming. For his setup, he wants you to bring your own flashes. He wants you to practice using what you usually use. So bring your own flashes for his setup so that he can help you learn how to photograph with what you usually use, how to take portraits that way.
People don't have a flash and move that way.
If you don't have your own flash, there will be other studio setups that we have, and yeah. So we will have some other opportunities for you that way. If you're bringing something, please let me know. I've had a couple people message me that they were bringing a few things, and I just need to know what we're going to have. I don't want mostly setups. If you're bringing objects, I don't need to know that. But if you're bringing lighting setups, the more I have coming, the less I have to worry about me and John having to throw together to make sure we have everything covered. So I appreciate any help.
When you bring, no, it's just for whoever's coming.
Okay.
When you bring your stuff, if you don't have a flash, that's fine. But learn your camera as far as how to turn the live view off. That if I give you a setup that's a universal type, it won't kick that thing off. So you have to learn how to do that in your camera. I don't know all of that.
So what Fred was saying is that if you don't have your own flash, you need to learn how to take your live view and turn it off and on, and to learn your own camera so that you know the basics on how to do those basic things. We can help you a little bit, but we don't know your cameras. Every camera is a little bit different, and we can't universally show you all of that.
If they don't know how to put their camera in manual, either learn or you can tell them to learn or bring their camera manual.
If you don't know how to do it, either learn during the next week or bring your camera manual and someone can help you try to figure it out. That's what we're here for. March 7th is a program by our own Cheryl Keir on night photography, getting us ready for that theme coming up. On March 14th is our digital contest with the theme of open. On March 16th is our field trip to Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge. And March 21st is a program by James Corbett on making travel magic, Ireland and beyond. And then on March 28th is our next color and monochrome print contest, also with the theme of open. Let me hand, May 30th is going to be our banquet. Susan has been working diligently to get that set up for us. I don't know what I need to announce about that.
Save the date.
Save the date, and we'll be sending out an email about the food options. It's probably going to be a buffet like last year. We're going to try to have a variety of options that everyone can choose, that there's something there for everyone. And we will send out the details on that soon. Okay, I'm going to hand the program over to the evening over to Ron, and he will introduce our judge for tonight.
Okay, I did a poor job of communicating with our judge this evening, and I was going to look back on previous years on the bio that you sent me for the previous years, and I got busy this week and didn't do that. But he agreed to just tell us a little bit about who he is. Matthew Mostad, am I saying it right?
Yes.
In the ballpark anyway, huh?
It's a tricky one.
Okay. And mostly Baltimore City at one point. Do you still do a lot of work in Baltimore City?
Yes. Here, we want-
Okay, it's
I'll
all
introduce-
yours.
Hi, Judge for the evening, Matthew Malstead. I operate professionally as that Baltimore photographer, which is what he was getting to. I've shot a lot of stuff in Baltimore, whether it's street festivals. I have a lot of friends that are musicians, so I photographed them. I'm also a motorcyclist and involved in the motorcycle community in Baltimore. We do charity rides and things, so I've also photographed a lot of that. But things in Baltimore, I photograph a lot. So that's the business name because it's also easier for people to remember and spell than Matthew Malstead. But I've been doing photography pretty much my whole life. I learned the skill from my mother. It was just a hobby mostly through teenage years. I got a job as a graphic designer at a business, Tamarian Carpets. They needed a photographer, and since I was already there and knew the skill, that's how I ended up being a professional photographer. And I was a member of the Baltimore Camera Club for many years myself, did competitions as well, just like that, and got tired of judges that would say things like, it's too purple, I don't like purple, or, oh, giraffes, I like giraffes. And that's how I ended up as a judge.
Okay. All right, Matthew, thank you. That's I want you to know a little bit. I'm glad you did that because you did way better than I could have anyway, so under the circumstances.
We want to see you say, it's too purple.
Right. Yeah. Well, not that time.
purple.
He likes purple, so we're good. And Clarence brought a copy of his National Road Book for the judge this evening to thank him for
Thank
coming
you very
with
much.
us.
This
So,
is perfect.
yeah. So a couple of you have seen that's an excellent book. You should talk to Clarence about it if you don't have a chance. So, Bob, I guess are you observing tonight and Ken's moving? What's happening?
We're actually going to change things a little bit and start training somebody to replace me. So Ken is going to do what I usually do, probably better.
Do you see the tape marks on the
Okay.
table?
Okay.
Be real careful with that cord, please.
Okay, let's do two things to set that up. Now, do you want to be over this way a little bit? Would that make it easier to see?
Yeah, that probably would be a little bit more conducive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good right there.
All right. And I'm here to write down the wisdom you share.
Wonderful, good.
So as in the past, we'll go through, look at all the pictures, and then a comments round, and then a in-out round.
Okay.
Actually, the in-outs with the comments.
In-outs with
Just
comments?
Yeah,
All right.
as usual. I'll try to mix it up here and
All
mix
right.
you up a little bit.
Need a place to land on. Can we put this, this is where they come when they get. All right. For the announce though, you need someplace to put two different files. Here.
I'm sorry? 8 total, and we're looking at novice monochrome. Okay, we're going to do novice monochrome followed by unlimited monochrome, and then
Okay.
we'll go to the color the last 2 rounds. So you have 8, and we're looking at how many winners here?
Third and second and third and
Okay.
one honorable.
Second, all right, is that right, Mike?
It's a mini competition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mini competition.
Just second and third. from-
Second and third.
Okay.
Okay. First one up is Valley Forge Memorial. The Tomb Soldier. Flying Buttress. Not Alone. Saint Ignatus Kneeler. Crucifix and Altar. Enter. Fredericksburg National Cemetery. That's it.
Bob's not used to being on that side.
Yeah.
We need to retrain him.
Well, some people are untrainable. All right, here we go.
All right. Well, definitely fits the competition with being sacred. I love the combination of kind of the Americana sacredness with the Christian religion iconography. It's a great kind of double meaning there. But I love the composition of it, using the depth of field to separate the two images by still having enough focus to tell what's there. I could use, I guess, a little bit more contrast in this. It's a little bit too much medium gray and not enough really deep, solid blacks in there. So I'm going to say out on this one from that. Another one that perfectly fits the criteria for sacred places. Really strong geometry and just good geographical straightness. I love how the top of his hat is matching the top of the monument, or is mausoleum the correct term there? Yeah, I really enjoyed that composition. I do wish that this one, the contrast was actually brought down a little bit more, and you didn't have that real bright, blown out highlight then with him being so dark there against it. I'm going to say out on that. Fits the competition theme again, very well done. The grayscale on this I actually very much like. Gets a little bit in the black in some of the darker parts of the window, and it starts to get a little bit blown out in the sky, but that's up in the sky, so that's a bit understandable. I love the balance, and kind of the movement that's created with all the lines of the architecture is very well done. I'm going to say in for this one. Again, fits the competition theme. I like the humor here of the two of them paired together with the Leaning Tower of Pisa there, just leaning over a bit. The exposure, I think this is another one where it's a good value difference, good contrast, nice blacks. The whites aren't going too far off. For the composition, I wouldn't mind a little of that ground being taken out and it being a bit stronger on just the buildings. So much of that kind of negative space in the foreground is just drawing my attention, and there's no real interest there. So I'm going to say out on that. I'm confused on this one. It's wonderfully done, needlepoint, but I don't know if needlepoint fits my criteria for a photography competition. It does fit the theme, though, and I like the creativity and bring it to the competition, but yeah, I think this is just a little bit outside of the proper medium for this contest, so I'm going to say out. Well, for me, being someone that goes to a Catholic church, this is just a peaceful, serene image. I very much like this. It's, again, good exposure value, good contrast ratio. I very much enjoy the aspect ratio on this crop. Yeah, you don't see too many people usually do like the panoramic crop in portrait mode. I'm going to say in for that creativity. Wonderful, nice little tranquil. I feel like I've come across this scene in Baltimore a lot of so many of the churches there, the little side doors. I like the lighting play here. It's a really good balance with it being in shadow that much to have nothing blown out and still good darkness. So nice balance on the exposure. I like the composition being just a little bit off center. I'm going to say out on this one just for kind of the familiarity, and it is a simpler image against the other ones, so yeah, out. This one again fits the criteria. I very much enjoy this matting. This is a print competition, so the presentation makes a big difference, and your presentation being something that stands out definitely makes an impression. The photo, I like the composition. I like the use of your depth of field, nice and sharp up front with a good fall off as the eye goes down. Good basic fundamentals of just repetition. For me, it is a little bit too bright and overexposed. I'd like to see it taken down just a little bit in the highlights. I'm going to say out.
Put them on a table so you can take a look at them.
All right.
Okay. Do you have 3 or 2 there, Bob?
Two.
Just 2? Okay.
That's all we need.
All right, then I guess we don't need to.
Yeah, I think we need one more. 2 third and 1 honorable?
No honorable.
No honorable? Okay, sorry.
All right. Let me-
Do we need more?
I think we're good. I think we're just,
Okay.
I just need to copy the info down.
Need to fix that.
Is this
So you need to pick one of them.
For which one?
Yeah, we did forget that part, didn't we?
Yes, okay.
Just 1 and 2. You say 1 and 2.
1, 2. Okay.
Second and third,
Second and third.
not 1 and 2.
Okay, so you announce the second and third. Do I put the date on here? I will do so already. Just put your initials.
The label is only wrong in the type of competition. It's not an open.
Okay. Second place today is Flying Buttress by Doug Wood.
Show the camera.
He should post something he's on.
Doug's in North
I
Carolina.
think that was England.
Yeah, true.
But he didn't tell me this time much about him.
It looks like him.
I'll let you know if he has any comments. Yeah,
John, should he
he's
be
on.
putting it in the box or up in front of the
I
camera?
got it right on him.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
because we didn't see it there.
And third place in novice monochrome is Crucifix and Altar, Doug Wood again.
Doug says, can I see the microphone?
Yes, you can.
Doug says the first one is York Minster, York, England, and the second is Reykjavik, Iceland. Thank you.
Unlimited monochrome is 34. Yeah.
Okay. Looking for 3, first through fourth, and then 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Okay,
What's the total number?
8 in the previous. Oh, this
34.
34.
Thank you.
Is this the way to heaven? The Wailing Wall. St. Peter's Altar, Italy. All right, I'm gonna hack this one up. Nachi Russian Orthodox Church. Prayers of the People. Greenwood Cemetery. San Francisco de Assis. Uncle Ozzie, 82nd Airborne. Cross the Brace. Gated Community. Mosaic Saint. Time. Sunday morning. Night photo, Basilica Shrine. Black Nun of Morette. Rest in peace. The hallowed ground of Antietam. St. Anne's Parish. All wrapped up. The wall for remembering. Grand view. Rugged cross. Rentalen 2. Altar Basilica National Shrine. Light my fire. Mary, Mother of Mankind. Still sacred after all these years. Basilica High Altar. First scene. Christ Church, St. Michael's. Jesus is watching. Mother. Guardian saint. Remembering.
Yeah. You're telling me. Y'all are making this easy.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. You ready?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. All right, this is a wonderfully tranquil scene. Oh, by the way, everything in there seemed like it meets the criteria. Nothing seemed like it isn't appropriate, so I'm just not even going to bother with that. But wonderful, tranquil scene. The lighting is fantastic. I love the kind of haziness in the distance versus all the texture and clarity you have up front. I got to go through a lot, but this one's going to be out. A wonderful capture of the wall. I've been there. That's exactly what it feels like, or that's exactly what it is. It's great documentation of it. A little high on the, or a little strong on the highlights. I could see that being brought down a little bit, and maybe straightening it just a little bit. I think rotating to the right, but good composition, good leading line, and using your angle to send the viewer's sight down frame, but out. Yeah, wonderfully tranquil, amazing lighting with those rays coming in and really giving it that glory of God feel to it. I'm going to say out on this one from it just being a little bit off-centered and tilted, so I'm saying out on that. You know, this is just very quaint and picturesque. I understand taking this photo. I would have taken this photo myself. I love that, but I believe this was a Russian temple, and then it just has the feel of kind of Americana farmland. I like that. I don't know. There's something in there to me that I enjoy, but I'm going to say in for this one. So this one's a little bit different and has more of an intimate feel, where a lot of these other religious sacred ones have had more of a grandeur. And I like that, pulling it in and feeling a bit more personal. Good balance on your contrast between all that darkness and then the candlelight, and balancing between it. And nice composition, but again, strength of competition. I'm going to say out on this one. Great black and white. Good job again balancing your colors. It looks like this is a matte print. I like switching it up and seeing something different. Good use of leading lines again, fundamentals of photography. The one critique I could see to make it better is this road gets a little bright right out in front of these tombstones. I would maybe darken that just a little bit so that the brightness of the tombstones really makes them stand out and makes them the prominent part of the image. I'm going to say out. Very good composition, good geometry. I am a fan of kind of strong geometrical shapes. Using the doorway to block off the cross there. It's very well done. It's good balance in your black and white. There is quite a bit of black up in that tree, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I'll say in for this one. Yeah, good composition, well done with having everybody sharp. The color here is going a little, I don't know if it's supposed to be kind of a sepia tone or if it's just printing color is a little bit off, but I'm finding the greenish tint here a bit distracting. Otherwise, like I said, the sharpness is there, it's well exposed, the technical aspects all seem well, but just that strange color cast is taking me off of this one. I'm going to say out. This is a wonderful example of using other artwork, sculptures a lot of times, and making it kind of your own image by really, again, going in close on the detail, making it something personal. And the lighting that was captured here is really, really well done, really suits the original creation and does well with the photograph. In. Okay, this one did have a really good title. That was nice and catchy. I appreciated that humor. This one does fit into the sacred places, but with the feel of this one, it has more of like a horror vibe to me. And with the way it's edited goes with that, and I like that. But for this competition, it's not working as much for the other things, so I'm going to say out for that. This is extremely sharp. A lot of really great detail. Very wonderfully printed as well. It was photographed and printed, so it seems to have the maximum sharpness you could get for it. This is one of the photographs that seems more of a documentation of someone else's artwork, so I'm going to say out on that. Now, this is one where I feel they took a sculpture and did something a bit unique with it, the way they framed it to make it their own thing, and it's not just a documentation. By having him framed by the mural in the background, having the cross up there at front, it gives you a place, it gives you some depth to it as well. Also good work with the lower angle to really give it a grandeur. Yeah, I think I'm going to say out on this one, though, just again, strength of competition. Oh, this one's really, I wonder if this is an IR just because of how much white there is in all the foliage. It's an interesting photo to me. As a photographer, I have a lot of questions just looking at this, but I love that mountain range in the back and just the amount of detail you have here, the geometrical work, and again, using something to do a frame within a frame. However, again, strength of competition, I'm going to say out on this one. Great, wonderful example of a night photography shot, well balanced. You did a good job bringing your tripod, having it, everything sharp. It looks a little bit tilted though, and for something as geometric as this and straight on architectural, I'd like to see it just straightened out and be a bit more level. So I'm going to say out on that. This is another one that is just wonderfully printed, and as far as tonality goes, this is a wonderful tonal range in this black and white. Composition is great as well, even though usually you're not supposed to center things. This is one of those times where it just begs to be centered, and those light shafts coming through, this just has a very spiritual, holy feeling to it. It was great to enter in this competition in.
Bob, in.
This is another one that was a great way of making something else, a different sculpture, your own artwork. Very clever to get down, use the lower angle and really focus on a specific detail. Your depth of field as well to blur out the background, smartly done, good black and white. I think I'm going to say out again just on strength of competition. It's funny that the whole sacred part of this is that this massive battle that was probably loud and brutal and all this stuff going on, and then it creates this nice tranquil image that looks kind of just like, it looks like maybe some flowers blooming there, that it was a spring day. Interesting dichotomy there, but well exposed, good use of your lines to send you through the frame. I'm just going to say out on this one again, strength of competition. Oh wow, this is really well captured, and I love the stars that you got in there. Being a city boy, I usually don't get to see the stars like that in my night photography. So I really appreciate that. Very wonderfully sharp. Again, wonderfully printed. Good tonal range. Good composition. I think, again, I'm going to have to say out just on strength of competition, though. Yeah, this one's definitely different. It's just creative, different, something you don't see that often. I'm glad you noticed and kind of took the time to capture that. The way the kind of light plays between the actual sculpture and then the plastic that's over it has a nice play, and then the tonal range is there. It's nice and sharp. In on this one. I was talking about photography fundamentals, and this is another one that nails it. That reflection is great there. It works perfectly. It's a little bit lacking in sharpness. I would like to see it be, especially like around her eyes, to be a bit more sharp, but your exposure is well done, good composition, but it just could be a bit more sharp out. Yeah, really good job framing this up and getting all that architecture lined up and square and nice and geometrical. Yeah, this is one that really, as I was saying earlier, has that grand feeling of the spiritual side. It's well exposed. I think, again, I'm going to say out on this one, just strength of competition. This one, there's humor in it to me that I really appreciate, that it is mostly framed up straight and trying to be center, but the cross at the top is just leaning off a little bit, and then when you come down to the bottom of the frame, the cross there as well is off center just a little bit. So it's like no matter how much you try, it's still the little problems you have in life. Yeah, and then the exposure is good, the range as well. In on this one. Oh wow, little guy riding a bicycle. Yeah, this is a wonderful documentation photo. It's amazingly sharp, well captured. Again, wonderful exposure, good tonal range. The sepia tone in this one really works well. But again, strength of competition, kind of just a standard documentary church shot, I'm going to say out. It looks like there's a little bit of a printing issue with that red line there, but again, another wonderful architecture shot. It's lined up with things being centered, though it is a bit off balance, vertically speaking. It's still well exposed, good tonal range, and very sharp. But the printing issue is just a bit too much. I'm going to say out. Again, I like the personal feel here, bringing in the details and capturing those small little elements. Good tonal range here. And it is wonderfully nice and sharp. But again, since we did kind of have a similar image to this earlier, I'm going to say out. Yes, this, I suppose, I don't know if it's quite a fisheye, but the extreme wide angle really works well for this one. Getting down with that low angle, so it seemed very grand and has that majestic, holy feel to it, and then especially with that architectural light fixture that's there that just makes an enormous halo on it, it really goes well together. And even though this actually isn't the sharpest and it's a little bit soft, with the black and white of it, it just has this low-mo feel that I'm quite enjoying. I'm going to say in. Oh man, I am a fog day junkie. Anytime there is foggy days, I am out with my camera, so I very much appreciate this. I was just recently kicking around in a cemetery the last foggy day we had, so I've got quite a few photos of this myself. Well done, good tonal range, especially on foggy days. They can be very hard not to blow out. I'm going to say out though, as it's a little crunchy feeling, like the contrast or the texture was taken up a bit too high. I'm going to say out. Yeah, it is a very immaculate cathedral. It looks very new and pristine. And wow, yeah, that is very good photography of that architecture. Well straightened up, well lined up. All the technical aspects are well, but again, strength of competition and kind of originality, I'm going to say out. All right, this one technically I don't know if it's at a sacred place, but I will give the creator the benefit of the doubt that this was at a church. It is a wonderfully happy scene, and I love this man down here smiling, holding the chicken. It just adds a little bit of storytelling in with this that makes you question and want to know more about it. And wonderful architectural capture. I like getting down to the little bit of the lower angle and including a bit of the surrounding elements as well. Composition is very well done. Good tonal range. I am a bit distracted by the brick and concrete work here up front. That white spot is kind of really drawing my eye down from the church and being a bit distracting. I wouldn't mind seeing that darkened up a bit. I'm going to say out. I liked that once this one was read, there was a little bit of a pause, then the laughing. So it took everyone a few seconds to read this one and get it. But yeah, I appreciate that subtle bit of humor. I'm going to say out, though, just on strength of competition. Oh, and I like the three little birds that are out there. I just caught that. You know, another good example of how to make someone else's artwork your own by, you know, changing down, getting a different angle, and including some of the foreground, all of those candles in there, really help make this image. It's nice and squared up. And it's a little bit sharp on the face of the sculpture. But on strength of competition, I'm going to say out on this one. This is one that, yeah, I feel is a wonderful documentation. It would be great for a collection of religious artwork and things of that nature. For the competition, I feel it's a little familiar. It is technically wonderful, though, great sharpness, wonderfully exposed, and photographically executed wonderfully, but just not the great strength of competition for this one. Out. This is very creative and very different. Yeah, I love this double exposure. This looks like it may even be more than double exposure, although with that many gravestones, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I enjoy this creativity, the motion that it creates back and forth, and kind of the ethereal feeling that it has with spirituality and all of that. I'm going to say in.
Take the box down.
So we need 3 honorables and 1 through 4. So 7 images.
All right.
So we'll take away 2.
I will take away that one. And take away that one. First.
This one's first?
Yes.
We put that right.
Second. Third.
Okay. Okay, everybody, this was a great competition. We're going to go off with the winners now. Remembering by Clarence Carvel. Honorable mention.
We don't get to see it?
Do you want to give Clarence a chance to talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it?
That's the National Cemetery, of course. Multiple exposure in camera. Just walking around trying to pick out something. I made quite a few, and this one seemed to come out the best in the end. Just getting everything in balance and getting the lighting just right and everything. So it's been sitting around waiting for you guys for a long time.
Do you remember how many exposures that is?
Pardon?
Do you remember how many exposures that one is?
3.
Okay. It seemed like it was more than two.
And honorable mention to Bob Weber for Mary, Mother of Mankind.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's out of focus. It's a cheap lens, but it is a fisheye. It's a basilica in D.C.
Okay.
I have a question, Clarence, on this, the spelling on the back is R-E-M-E-M-E-R-I-N-G. Is it remembering or remembering?
Remembrance. Do I have it wrong?
Yes.
That's not even remembrance.
It's a thought.
Would you please come adjust your title so I can record it?
Whatever you make it is.
Oh, no, I'm not going to get in the middle of that.
Okay, honorable mention from Ron Pfeiffer, San Francisco DSCC.
This church is near Taos, New Mexico, and I got the entrance part of the church. I wanted to really focus on those 5 crosses in this on one picture, and back and forth about whether to make it lighter or darker. But more importantly, the back end of the church has a buttress that was photographed by Ansel Adams, and that's a famous picture, and mine's not.
Okay. That's my favorite view. Okay, here we go. Moving on to the big strong ones. 4th place, cross to bear, not brace. Okay.
Thank you.
Christine Milliker.
A couple years ago, John and I went with his parents up to Quebec, and we went to a lot of different churches up there. I couldn't tell you which one it is, but this is a very close-up of one of the many stone murals. I had like the whole thing, and then I just liked the way this was, and then I put a vignette on it to help zoom in and make it my own.
Okay, and in 3rd place, Ninchi Russian Orthodox Church, Mike Thomas, 3rd place.
That's on the road from Anchorage to Seward, Alaska. So they just have fields of these crosses from the cemeteries from years and years of this. It dates back to the their Russian heritage.
Okay. And 2nd place goes to Greg Hockel for All Wrapped Up.
That was taken during a behind-the-scenes tour of the National Cathedral.
Okay, and 1st place goes to Mike Thomas for Black Nun of Moret.
So I took that in Mexico. The picture from the last contest of all the candles burning and all the wax, the vigil candles, was in front of this shrine. I'm not quite sure why it's in Mexico, because that's kind of a French legend about the Black Nun, but I guess that shows some of Mexico's multicultural influences.
Moving on to novice color. We have 6 images.
So this is a mini contest?
Yep.
And we'll need a second and a third only?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Judge, ready?
No, knees. Or not. See, I'm not talking this round, so go ahead.
At a place of peace and harmony. Zurich mural. For the people. Advent. Foreshadowing. And Fredericksburg. Okay.
All right. Wonderful. I love that color, that bright red there, contrasting with the blue of the man's outfit and the little bits of yellow. Nice kind of pop of just basic RGB. Good composition and nice exposure value there. I'm going to say out just on strength of competition, though. Yeah, this is wonderful color. Great entry for the color competition. Very vivid, lots of detail in this. Wonderfully exposed. I'm going to say in. Wonderful lighting. The way that I guess it's probably like evening sun is hitting the building and just making the whole thing glow is wonderful. I definitely see where you got that. But yeah, the bicyclists in the front, and then especially since we're just staring at the back of their heads, is just too distracting to me. I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of cropped out a bit or something. So I'm going to say out on this one. It's a nice tranquil scene, well lit. Nice print too, good and sharp, but it's leaning a little over to the right, it seems to me. Just doesn't seem quite balanced, so I'm going to say off on that, out on that. Another one where time of day really makes the photograph. Getting that evening sun and then the evening sky makes this a wonderful color entry. This one also seems like it might be a little bit off balance. I don't know, the church just seems a little bit tilted to me, so I'm going to say out on that. Yeah, this is really good print, really nice and sharp, nice high gloss too. Good composition, well lit, and good job using the trees to block out the sun there so you don't get overexposed and still getting the starburst pattern coming through there. And then again, this is a print competition. Presentation matters, and so your matting really stands out in. Go first or third, second? What?
Second and then third.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, second and third, right? So it's not one mural. Fredericksburg. Okay, great.
Okay. Okay, no, I don't need it.
Oh, you can.
I'm hot. Okay.
Someone's confident.
Okay, novice color. Third place goes to Catherine Rush for Fredericksburg.
Let's see, the only thing to say about it, we were in Spotsburg, Fredericksburg on Memorial Day weekend last year. And I got up twice to get those shots, because once I started seeing that, I went back the next morning. I think we were out at 6:30, something. I made him get up. So anyway, that's it.
And second place goes to Catherine Rush for the Zurich mural.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, there's a big church in Zurich, the center of town, that has the big clock tower. Lots of you have probably seen that one, but
I've actually heard it described a few times.
yeah. So there's a mural that's actually tricky to find. It's actually pretty dark, but I mean, I worked it pretty hard to get it to look with those lights and I had to lighten those bushes, you know.
It's very well lit.
Thanks.
Unlimited color. 4 honorable mentions.
4 honorable mentions.
Yes.
Total number of images?
37.
Thank you.
Clear your throat.
I'm ready.
Okay. Chapel Cemetery Home. Cliffside Monastery. Little Church on the Corner. Wreaths Across America. Duke Chapel, Oregon. Star of Wonder. Tapestry. Ceiling patterns of St. Aponis. El Sanctorio di Chimeo. Chimeo, yeah. Looking up and down. St. Mary's Church. Notre Dame, Montreal. Hallelujah. Window View. Church. Gold Stave Church, 1157. St. Nikolai. Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. Reflections on Stained Glass. Welcome to the family. Floating Church. Sistine Chapel, Italy. Basilica Chapel. Three Stained Glass. Sunset at the National Cathedral. Chapel of Ease, Old Trinity Episcopal Church. Warmth. Duke Chapel, Lilies. Manchester Cathedral. Christ Basilica National Shrine. My Father's house has many rooms. Long day at the monastery. Chapel at the Tetons. Donations. Simple church window. Bell Tower. last one. Portal. Turn them over. Let's come over. Okay.
All right, wonderful entry for color competition. Yeah, I love the bits of pink, all the reds, the greens and the blues all contrasting with each other here. Wonderfully rendered too, not done oversaturated. And then the bit of leaves at the top to have a element from the foreground to give a sense of distance. I really enjoy and appreciate that. And then this is very well lit. Again, time of day helps you out here with that evening sun. It gives a nice soft look to it. In for this. A wonderfully lit, extremely, very sharp, very well printed too. This one feels a bit more just like a technical documentation one. Again, I'm going to say out on that. Yeah, another one that is a wonderful color entry. The greens pop so much, and then the red with with the rest of the photo being kind of either the neutral whites or the grays. So then those bright, vivid colors really pop well. And then wonderful composition, using lines to move the viewer around the frame. I love the square format. In for this one. Fundamentals of photography again, repetition and good use of just leading the eye down the frame with your depth of field. It does seem like it's a little, it's a little bit blurry down here, even on the main headstone, it looks like that, or it's some color aberrations going on around there, but there's some type of either printing or lensing issue that's bothering me a bit. I'm going to say out on that. I love the lighting in this. The brightness that you have down at the lower parts of the pipes where they're open and exposed. And it still is maintain good lighting, but gets just a little bit darker, goes a little bit into the shadows. And then the color in this, again, mostly homogeneous grays, but then that bit of purple and gold in there just pop out from the rest of it. And I do appreciate this type of crop. I'm going to say out on this one, though. Again, good nighttime exposure. Well, actually, nighttime and I guess sunrise. You got a bit of stars in there. So I'm getting you credit for just kind of going out in this time of day and having it exposed properly for all of that. I'll say in on this one. Yeah, this is one again. This would be wonderful for an art documentation book. The photography is technically wonderful, properly exposed, very sharp. The print was done well. This one, however, I'm not quite sure. Nothing about this really says a sacred place to me, and it more so just has historical feel rather than sacred or religious. So I'm going to say out. Now, this one has very much like a kaleidoscope effect and artwork from the 70s and whatnot. I like that. Oh, man. Yeah, is that the technique that was done here, framing or mirroring, and it comes out vertically and clean and proper for this type of artwork. Again, this one doesn't kind of feel the sacred religious places vibe to me. It's more of an architectural type of feel on this photo, so I'm going to say out. Wow, that's a very sharp photo and a very sharp print and very well done. Wonderfully exposed. For the color competition, though, it's a little bit, the color really isn't the main emphasis of this image for me. This could be a black and white and almost still be just as strong, I think, depending. So I'm going to say out on that one. Oh, this is beautiful stained glass and captured very well, which can be tricky, making sure you don't blow out your highlights and things aren't too dark. But this does feel more like, again, a documentation, something that would be good for showing various different glasswork around an area or religious glasswork. So while wonderfully executed, I don't feel it's great for the competition. Again, wonderfully executed. The photography is perfect. It is properly exposed. It is nice and sharp. The print is well done. But it is just a familiar setting. I am a little distracted also by what are some of these like construction stakes or whatever these, yeah, it seems like there was still some construction work going on there that's just a little bit messy and distracting, so I'm going to say out. Very well done church, very regal and majestic, and I definitely see taking the photo there. I'd prefer, it seems you had some time there maybe, and I would have liked to at least waited for that guy walking down the center there to be out of the way. I just find him a bit too distracting, and he's not really an engaging figure of the photo. I'm going to say out for this one. This is another great entry for the color competition. Yeah, the colors here are very well rendered. It's a good combination of colors that work well. So yeah, photographer and whoever the original designer of that whole space did wonderfully. And then the person there to the side really adds that religious element and makes this special more than just kind of a documentation of the space. In. I remember this one had a little bit of dark humor to the title. It's a very simple image that usually wouldn't have much to it, but yeah, I like that title giving some deeper meaning. It's also just kind of a nice basic like study in light. But with the simplicity of this one, I'm going to say out. Yeah, that's really great architecture and very compelling for the photography. Although, since this is an architectural shot, I'd like it to be just squared up a bit more and to have greater range of depth throughout the frame. Over here, the edges and the top of the church is getting a bit blurred out and just not as sharp as I'd like to see in this type of scene. Out. Wow, that place is impressive. This is one where I would take that photo myself, probably exact same way. This is another great documentation, technical photo. The exposure is wonderful. I like that you got a little bit of blacks, but it didn't go too heavy. Good job with your contrast there. And the colors are really well rendered in this. But again, it's just kind of more of a documentation photo, so I'm going to say out. Yeah, this it is a good entry for the color competition. It's got a bunch of different color play going out throughout it, but when I actually go and look at the colors up there in the altar, that's where kind of the meat of it is, and I wouldn't mind seeing a tighter shot of this just in the altar. There's been a few photos that were kind of panoramic vertical crops. I think this would lend itself wonderfully to that, but it is, again, technically well done, good exposure, good framing, the colors are rendered well. I'm just going to say out on strength of competition. Yeah, this is the way to do architectural stuff like this. It is all very square, very straight, good depth of field throughout the frame. You have sharpness in the foreground all the way to the background. Again, this is more of a documentation than it is really the spiritual part of it, so I'm going to say out. No, this is very creative, very good eye to catch this and to get that beveled angle that comes off the glass in the side of those diamonds. Very well done in. This is a wonderful keepsake moment. I have quite a lot of photos myself from family moments and things like this. The distracting part to me on this is, since it is probably dark Catholic church, it looks like the ISO got kind of high on this, and I'm just picking up a lot of grain in especially these, that green suited person and then the priest here as well. And I find that a bit distracting. I'm going to say out. Huh. Wow, that's a neat thing. This, I think this is a wonderful piece of photojournalism. It's, again, technically wonderful. It is properly exposed. It has a good contrast. The colors are well rendered. But again, this feels more, like I said, photojournalism and kind of a documentation thing than a spiritual religious vibe. So I'm going to say out on that. Yeah, this one's just a little soft, and for that much detail and that much going on, I really I really want the sharpness of that. I'm not sure if that's printing or if that was during the photography that the detail got lost, but yeah, this one just doesn't have the sharpness that I'd want for that much information in a photo. I'm going to say out. Oh yeah, that's another wonderful print, great colors that are rendered well. Oh, for this one, that reflection down there in the floor, yeah, I enjoyed that reflection. It adds a bit more to it than it being a standard documentation photo. I'm going to say in. Yeah, this is one where shooting in dark churches can be a challenge, and trying to get the contrast balance between white and black can be difficult, and yeah, the result didn't really pan out here. Some of the highlights are really blown out, and then it gets really dark. I know it's fisheye area on the corner there, but yeah, the contrast variation is just too much there for me. I'm going to say out. Wow, time of day can really make a difference in your photo, and coming there at the right time, that really made an impact here. Those colors are absolutely gorgeous. In for this one. Another very well executed photo. It is properly exposed, nice and sharp. I like the somewhat muted colors in this one. I think they work well with the old church and the feeling that it just generally has of being old and worn. I'm going to say, since it is the church and that cross is kind of important there, getting cut off at the top is a little bit of a bother to me, so I'd like it to have just a bit more breathing room around the composition. I'm going to say out. Wow. I really like this for for a color competition. All that blue with the bits of green and whatnot that contrast and pop with the person here as a lone thing of kind of almost brightness and white, with it being the religious aspect as well, and using that low camera angle to give it, again, that majestic grandeur feel. In for this one. Yeah, this is, again, a wonderful color photo. Yeah, the colors are extremely well rendered here. It's the focus is a little bit off. I'm not sure if I should be focused on the flowers, and then when I get up close to them, they're not quite sharp. And then the stained glass is a little bit blown out, and that doesn't have its full detail. So this photo, from a distance back, it is absolutely wonderful, and the closer I get, I have more criticisms. I'm going to say out on that. Wow, yeah, that is a beautiful organ. This is, again, I completely see taking that photo. I would capture that myself. That organ is amazing, and you did a wonderful job of getting the detail of maintaining the exposures properly and not blowing out any of those highlights. I'm going to say out, though. Again, this is a kind of technical, something that would be good for documentation. So out for that. Oh, that's an angry looking Christ. Yes, well exposed, colors are rendered well. It gets a little muddy though. I'm not sure if that's just the natural colors of it, but yeah, the colors just don't kind of seem crisp to me. And then the composition of it. This is one where I would like to see it shot kind of very architecturally squared up, and that's distracting me a bit as well. I'm going to say out on this one. Definitely a different creative one here. Guessing you're using some lens filter or something along those lines. But well exposed. I'm liking this technique. I'm going to say in for this one. Nice little bit of storytelling and photojournalism here. This, though, I do feel it's more about the person rather than the place. So I'm going to say out on that aspect. Very majestic and very regal. I feel like this is more about the mountains, and the church kind of happens to be there. So I'm not going to qualify this into the competition along with the other ones. I'm going to say out for this one. I very much enjoy the composition in this. I like the journalism and storytelling aspect. It seems like there's more to go into this image than what's here. However, it's just not in focus. She's a bit blurry. I'm not sure if it's motion blur from movement and too long of a shutter, but I'm going to say out on this one. Yeah, this is really detailed, really sharp, and very well printed. I like the colors through here. They're kind of mostly homogeneous with that little bit of green and then the little bit of purple that's popping. Yeah, all that detail in the wood, and then kind of the figure, the statue that's just a little bit shown, gives me a little bit of storytelling. I'm going to say in for this one. Yeah, very strong geometric elements here. I don't know, for the colors are kind of mostly the same. I'm not getting that much of a color pop or color contrast going on. This feels like something that could either be a black and white or color and be just as strong either way. I'm going to say out on this one. Wow, this one's really, yeah, it was Portal, something like that. This does have a very much sci-fi feel to it, along with the religious aspect. This is a neat feeling, or a neat photo. And yeah, I love that red, green, and blue play that's going on there. I'm going to say in on this one.
This is real fun. You want to do it again?
Kinda, yeah.
11.
Okay.
It was 8 it has to go down to?
We need 4. We need 8.
Okay.
Eliminate 3 and then place them.
There's not many of these. There we go. This is
Okay. All right. I'm going to eliminate this guy. I'm going to eliminate this guy. And I'm going to eliminate that guy. And then, all right, place him. Yeah, let's see. I think that will be, yeah, that will be first honorable mention. That's going to be the second honorable mention. Going that guy next. And that.
It's not exciting for him anymore.
How many do you have there?
3. 3. This is the 4th one.
Matthew, just
Yes, that's what that would be 4th place. Yes. That's second.
Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Show you how to do it if we make our own maps.
Okay. Okay. Put that over there. All right. Great competition, everybody. We're going to announce the winners now. Honorable mention, My Father's House Has Many Rooms by Mike Thomas.
I took that at the field trip to the National Shrine. It's if you look at it, it's got the same angry Jesus you referenced in the other picture. Yeah, I had a filter on my lens that created that effect. I think the other thing that's interesting that has nothing to do with my photo is he's so big that the distance between his hands is the size of a school bus.
Okay. Honorable mention, Warmth by John Milliker.
That's another church in Canada, and it was terrible lighting. The church was yellow, so I went in and I said, let me change the hue slider a little bit, and went blue. I loved it, and then I did a little bit of history brush to bring out the worshiper out a little bit warmth, a little bit of warmth.
Okay. Honorable mention, Simple Church Window, Ron Pfeiffer.
This came from a church on the high road to Taos from Albuquerque, and I'm always fascinated by the simplicity and the color in this one. I have taken a bunch of other pictures of this little church and entered it over the years as well, other competitions.
Did you have to trespass to get there?
Okay, honorable mention, Kathy Hockle, Basilica Chapel.
That was one of the side chapels at the Basilica field trip that we went to.
All right, fourth place, Sunset at the National Cathedral, Ron Pfeiffer.
We were there with a group, and I sort of hung around longer than I should have, and the lights came into place. So, but the interesting thing is, I thought the picture would be pretty easy to work. I had to work a long time to really bring out those reflections because they are a little bit more pale than they look there. But it took a long time to make that picture work the way it did.
Okay, third place, Reflections on Stained Glass, Jackie Colstock.
This was shot through the doors of a side chapel in the Cathedral of Holy Name of Jesus in Raleigh, North Carolina. It is a relatively new cathedral. I think it's less than 5 years old. So they don't have all their stained glass in. So that's why there's so much light coming from one side, is because it was lots of natural light, but that window was in. And I took a whole bunch through that door looking for the right angle.
Okay. And second place, Little Church on the Corner, Chuck Gallegos.
I took that on my 2019 trip to Iceland with Alec Koch, and it's on the road to the Reynisdrangar sea stacks, if you know the Iceland.
And first place goes to Kathy Hockle, Hallelujah.
So that also was at the field trip at the Basilica, and I'm just going to let the judge know that I entered that in the digital format, and the judge said I should have asked the guy to get on the kneeler. Now, mind you, he was truly praying. He didn't know I was there, and that was the comment was, I should have asked him to get on the kneeler. So I just think that's kind of a funny thing that I would never do something like that, you know?
Yeah, it gives it that kind of journalistic storytelling thing where it's not a staged photo.
You think it's not a staged photo?
Exactly.
Yes, it was.
Not, you can tell, like, why would you do that for the staged photo?
It's 100% not staged. So, but.
She has a witness.
Yeah, I have a witness. Mike was there, and he was giving me a hard time for taking because the guy was praying, but he didn't know I was doing it.
For next time, some people were concerned.
Yeah, he was there
Two
a long
hands to
time.
push it through.
Okay.
Because if they bend, it can ruin the
Different
picture.
angles. He let me just dumb around.
Thank you to our judge. Thank you so much. Give him a round of applause. Thank you to everybody who submitted prints. If your print did win, please get a copy to Mike Thomas for the newsletter. Don't make him ask. He has to ask me all the time. What else do we have? Next week is the tabletop night. It's an amazing night. Bring your cameras. Bring cool stuff to photograph. If you have anybody, any good or maybe not so good looking friends that would like their photos made, have them come up as well. And I think that's it. Information on the camping trip, you got to reserve quick. And I think that's about it. Maybe Christine needs to run over there and hit the button to end the stream. Run, Christine, run. Congratulations to our winners, and good night. We will not be broadcasting next week because of just the nature of it.
Question. How does it usually take you all
You're
to
back
get
on.
the, I guess you post online of the ones that win from the competition?
Yes, I'll answer that question shortly. Anyway, what I said, I forgot what I said before Christine cut me off. Get your reservations in as soon as possible because this is a recreation.gov, like national park land or something, and it books up really, really quick. Thank you, Christine.